welcome to our Freshers World YouTube channel on jobs and careers. I'm Shreya Govind. Today I'm going to talk about 15 things you should not put in an experience resume. Number 1, use bullets. Don't use paragraph. When you use paragraph, recruiter will go through it but may forget the important points which you're talking about. So use bullets. Number 2, statement or objective of your resume should focus on what you want from your job. It should not say that I want to become an entrepreneur after 5 years, but at that point what you want from your job. Your statement should always focus on that. Number 3, general description of your job, what you were doing. Never mention just general description. Mention your description, what you were doing, what you achieved with your job during your work. So mention about achievement with the job description. Number 4, don't use phrase like job responsibilities or duties handled. Instead of that, mention what did you achieve during your job. Present the facts. How many test cases you solved. If you were a recruiter, how many person you recruited during a quarter or during a month. So talk about that. Talk about your achievements when you're talking about your job description. Number 5, don't start the phrases like I did. Instead of that, use phrases like analyze the work, achieve the target. Those phrases you should use instead of I. Number 6, irrelevant experience. Talk about the relevant experience for the job which you are applying for. For example, I am a software engineer. During my engineering course, I did some event management job. Don't talk about that event management job when you are applying for engineering job. Talk about only the relevant experience at that point, which is relevant for the job you are applying for. Number 7, don't use flowery language in your resume. Use simple English words when you are making your resume. Number 8, misspellings or grammatical errors. Always have proofreading before submitting your resume to any employer. Do at least 3 to 4 times spell check and grammar check for your resume. It may cost you if you are wrong in 1 or 2 spelling. So please have a proofreading before you submit your resume to any employer. Number 9, personal information. If you're an experienced person, you don't need to mention about your date of birth, place of birth, who are there in your family. You don't need to mention about all those things. So please word off your personal information in your experience resume. Number 10, hobbies or interest. If you are an experienced person, talk about your achievements, talk about your skills, talk about your professional experience. Don't talk about your hobbies or interests, what you are inclined towards it. Your achievement should talk more in your resume than your hobbies. Number 11, weak assertions of your academic. If you have scored less in your academics or your graduation or your post-graduation, just don't mention about those percentage. Just word of those things. If you have scored very well, then mention those things in your resume. Just don't mention about your academic numbers in your resume. Number 12, photograph. It is not at all required to fix or put your photograph in your resume. If you are applying for a modeling job, then definitely you need to put your photograph. But for engineering or any other related job, you don't require to put your photograph in your resume. Just ignore that. Number 13, reasons for leaving your previous job. It's not at all required to mention why did you leave your previous job. If the employer or interviewer asks why did you leave your job, then you tell the reason, but don't at all include in your resume. If you had a break also, don't include that in your resume. If the interviewer asks, then only talk about it, but no need to mention in your resume. Number 14, names or contact details of your previous manager or supervisor. You don't need to mention about those details in your resume. If the interviewer asks about your previous employer details or manager's details, then first check with your previous employer or manager, then pass on the number to your future employer. Without speaking to your previous manager, don't pass on the numbers to them. Number 15, reference available upon request. People do mention this thing in their resume, but that's not at all required. This just takes the space in your resume. If they ask for reference, you have to provide the reference. So please avoid this column, reference available upon request. If you follow all these simple 15 steps for your experience resume, recruiters will be more attracted to your resume and you'll get more job calls and more job interviews. I wish you all the best for the same. I hope you liked my video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you.